This is my version of spirituality, or what it means to be spiritual. I think that there's too much love and light or too much darkness. I believe that they need to coexist, because without one you can't have the other. I believe that every single aspect of spirituality can be exaggerated, or can be whatever the opposite of exaggerated is. I can't think of the word right now, but the opposite of that, okay? Where I'm going with this is to be spiritual in its most simplistic form is to be human. And not just to be human, it's to be real. Yeah? Real. Not all love and light, not all dark and gloom, in the middle. Real. It's to be loving, okay? But the most spiritual thing, in my opinion, is the frequency of truth. Are you connected to the frequency of truth? A lot of people speak about unconditional love as the highest frequency, and I absolutely agree it is. But I don't know how achievable or attainable that is for the human being in the earth matrix right now. I'm not saying it's not achievable. I just think there's a lot of cute language around that particular term, unconditional love. And I think the closest thing, I'm not a parent, but from speaking to parents, I think the closest thing that people feel to unconditional love is the love they have for their children, okay? Or the love a child would have for their parent. However, to an extent, some other people as well prove that it is conditional. If your child ends up murdering people or murdering your other kid, I don't know how much you're going to love them still. Some people might be able to, and I know it's a drastic example, but again, unconditional is unconditional. So I'm trying to prove the point. Where the frequency of truth, now we're talking something a little bit different. Okay, the frequency of truth is the true definition of spirituality for me in this human form as a human experience, because the truth, there's three truths, yeah? There's my truth, your truth, and the objective truth. But if you hear that slowly, my truth, your truth, objective truth. Objective truth is the truth that both you and I are searching for or working towards. We're just at different degrees or different levels, not better or worse, just different stages of our journey to get to that point. But ultimately there is an objective truth. So when people say, oh, that's your truth, that's my truth, that's dismissive and that's not spiritual. Okay, we're all at different phases. True spirituality is not sitting there and going hummity hummada and doing your meditational stuff. I'm not bagging that, and I'm not trying to be a smartass against that, because I do those practices myself. But to look and be and do certain things, to think you're spiritual, to wear certain clothes, that might be all characteristics of your spirituality. That might be all practices. That might be all different modalities that you're applying to build towards that frequency of truth, to remember who you actually are, okay, and what creation and what everything actually is. But true spirituality is to be fucking real. Absolutely real. Real. If you're feeling something, feel it. Okay? Don't try to put it back and pretend it's not there. Feel it, feel it. If you want to do something, do it. If there's something you're passionate about, take action on it. If someone's upset you, tell them. Tell them with love, but still tell them. Don't pretend it's not there. Be honest. That's why frequency of truth is such a strong guiding pillar. That's true spirituality. Don't get caught up in all these fads and trends and, people replacing, a bunch of habits for another bunch of habits. I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to bag out anyone here. I'm trying to connect, not disconnect. But you know what I'm talking about. Don't allow this new spiritual person who's really an unhealed, unresolved person, now walking around with the mask and the facade that they're healed and they're teaching people. Don't let that be the person who you listen to or guide you, because they're unhealed. The real spiritual people aren't so weird. Where they've got long hair, short hair, they're wearing a singlet, maybe they're dressed in a dressing gown, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. Spirituality is real talk. Not having to be prim and proper and speak a certain language. They're alarm bells. That's false. Okay? Real spirituality is being able to change gears, to move with your emotions, to get in flow with things. You're never just in one gear. Because nature's not in one gear. The universe isn't in one gear. It's always moving. It's always changing. That's the way it works. It's one of the laws of the universe. Nothing stays the same. So how are we expected to just stay the same all the time? Being real is moving with it all. Changing, being part of that flow. All right, that's true spirituality. That's my version of it, and it's one that I hope more people can jump on board with, because the more real we can get, the more spiritual we become. The more human we can be, the more we can embody our human nature, our human way, the more spiritual we're going to be. It doesn't need to look and be a certain way at all. You can look at the most hillbilly, whatever the word is, type of person you want. I'm not going to, again, I don't want to get stuck in calling people names. You can, whatever your stereotype is, your judgment is, they might be 1,000 times more spiritual than the person sitting on that hill like a Zen master going hummity hummita. Telling you now. Right, they might be more real. And that should be a guiding pillar from this video that hopefully you can take with you. How real are you? You want to be spiritual? Be real. Be honest. Follow that frequency of truth. It's an amazing guiding pillar and a guiding principle that we're all actually trying to attain. And only when we get to that point, from my perspective, can we then consider attaining or reaching unconditional love. Until then, the work is not there. The work is finding the frequency of truth, working with it, and that's what real spirituality looks like.